All right, so to restate, today we are going to graph in standard form using intercepts. Standard form is very different than y equals mx plus b. It's ax plus by equals c. If it is in standard form, you're going to graph using intercepts. The x-intercept is where the line crosses the x-axis, and the y-intercept is where the line crosses the y-axis. So you're going to solve for both the intercepts. To solve for the x-intercept, write this down. To solve for the x-intercept, plug 0 in for y. Why am I going to plug 0 in for y? Because, guys, look at the x-axis. What's the value of y anywhere on the x-axis? 0. So if I want to know the x-intercept, I want to know where it falls on the x-axis, and the value of y will always be 0. All right, so let's do it. Here's the equation. Y'all see it? What am I going to plug 0 in for? Y. So I have 3x plus 2 times 0 equals 6. I feel like some of you have no idea why I just used a 0. So I'm going to explain it again. If I put a dot anywhere on the x-axis, what will the value of y be? 0. Do y'all see it? Okay, so that's why I'm plugging in 0 for y. I want to know where it's going to touch the y-axis. So I have 3x equals 6. Divide by 3. And I get x is equal to what? So if x is 2, what does y have to be? Intercepts, guys. X-intercept will have a 0 and y-intercept will have a 0. That's going to be my first dot that I graph. Now, that's called the what? The x-intercept. Now I want the y-intercept. When I want the y-intercept, what do y'all think I'm going to do? Plug 0 in for x. And we'll talk about y. When I want the y-intercept, I'm going to plug 0 in for x. So that means this is going to be 0. Again, let's talk about y. If a y-intercept is anything that falls on the y-axis, what will the value of x always be? 0. So I'm going to use my equation, which is right here, and I'm going to plug in 0 for x. So 3 times 0 plus 2y equals 6. 2y equals 6. Divide by 2, and what do you get y to be? 3. How many dots do I need to graph a line? Do I have 2 dots? Yes. So I'm going to go graph these dots. I have a point at 2, 0 and at 0, 3. And I simply connect them. Did they specify a domain or range? Nope. So it's a straight line that keeps going forever and ever. All right, the next one, is it in standard form? Yes. So I'm simply going to find an x-intercept and a y-intercept. Okay? So for the x-intercept, I plug in 0 for y. So here we go. For x minus 2 times 0 equals 10. So I have 4x equals 10. Divide by 4. What's 10 divided by 4? 2.5. That's my x-intercept. Now for my y-intercept, I'm going to plug in 0 for x. So I have 4 times 0 minus 2y equals 10. What's 4 times 0? So I have negative 2y equals 10. So what is y? Negative 5. Go graph those points. And simply connect them with an arrow going straight through. I have a question. Could I have rearranged this to y equals mx plus b and used my y equals button? Yes, but since it was in standard form, was it possibly easier just to find the intercepts? Yes. All right, next one. We're only going to do 2 on this page. No, y'all do this one on your own. Go. Okay, check your answer with mine. Now, look at the next one. Tell me what's the first thing you see on this one. It's not in standard form. It's in y equals mx plus b form. But what if I said, what are the intercepts? Can I still plug in 0? Yes. Could I use my y equals button and go find them there? The only time my y equals button won't work is if x is a decimal, because it's not going to give you that. It only gives you integers. So you can always plug in for 0. So again, I'd plug in for 0 here and for 0 here and simply solve. So I have 0 equals negative 4x plus 3. I'm solving for x, so what do I need to do? Could I move this to this side? Yes or no? Yeah. So 4x equals 3. Now what would I do? Divide by 4. So what's x? Give it to me as decimal. 0.75. Okay. Let's plug in when x is 0. So I have y equals. I'm done, right? Because that's, if I plug in this for 0, I just have y equals 3. There's my intercepts. Do I need to do one more, or are y'all okay? Do we need to do this one? Okay. Flip over. What if it gives you a graph and asks you to find the intercepts? Well, then you just write them down, right? All right, so what's the x-intercept? Let's talk about it. I need it as a coordinate. 2, 0. Guys, do not mix up your intercepts. The x-intercept is where it touches the x-axis. What's the y-intercept? All right, what's the x-intercept here? Negative 4, 0. And what's the y-intercept? 0, 2. Okay, what's the x-intercept on this one? 6, 0. And 0, 3. standard form is one of the easiest ways to solve a word problem. You guys will like it. It's basically saying like you have two different types of things you're paying for and then you have a total. So you sell tickets to a school play. If you buy the tickets in advance, they cost $6. If you buy them at the door, they cost $8. But the total sales were $480. Write an equation for this in standard form. Well, guys, think about standard form. You're going to have a number times x plus a number times y equals your total. 6x plus 8y equals 480. Standard form is really easy. Now, can you always write an equation in standard form? No. Sometimes when they give you a word problem, it's presented in slope-intercept form, right? Like with a starting point and a rate. But they didn't give us that. They gave us two different amounts, and then it adds up to equal a total. All right, find the intercepts. Well, the X-intercept is when y is 0, and the Y-intercept is when x is 0. So I simply go plug them in. So I want to know the X-intercept first. So 6x equals 480. Why did I just take out the 8y? Because it's going to be 0, right? All right, 480 divided by 6 is? Let's see. Okay, and then I have 8y equals 480, and 480 divided by 8 is 60. Graph the intercepts. What do y'all want to count by? I would say you can count by 20. I counted by 10s, but I actually counted by 5s because I skipped. I skipped them. So I counted by 10s, but I actually counted by 5s. I just didn't write them all. Oops. All right, graph your intercepts. So I need a dot at 80, 0, and 0, 60. Would this be a straight line that keeps going forever and ever, or a line segment? Huh? Y'all tell me.
Straight line going forever and ever.
So you're telling me you can sell negative tickets?
Yes. Sure.
It's a line segment. Now, guys, I want y'all to really look at what X and Y represent in standard form. Usually we have like tickets and money, but what is X and Y representing? They're both tickets, aren't they? One is advance, one is tickets sold at the door. So these graphs are very different than like tickets and money. I just want y'all to understand standard form is different. All right, let's answer the question. If 52 advance tickets were sold, how many tickets were sold at the door? What am I going to do? I have an equation. Here it is. 6x plus 8y equals 480. Where did I get that from? I wrote it at the top. Somebody has to tell me, what is X representing? Advance tickets. Okay, what does Y represent? Okay, well, what did they want me to find out? How many tickets were sold at the door if I sold 52 advance? What am I going to do? Plug in 52 for X, because X is the advance ticket. So 6 times 52 plus 8y equals 480. I'm just solving an equation. 6 times 52 is 312 plus 8y equals 480. All right, what am I going to do to solve this equation? Subtract 312. $168. Now what am I going to do? divide by 8. What do we get? 21? 21 what? X and Y both represented tickets. Just one was advance tickets and one were tickets at the door. All right, I'm going to pass out. All right, let's look at the assignment. On 1 through 9, it wants the X-intercept and Y-intercept. So your answer should just give me the two coordinates. So let's do number 1 together. For the X-intercept, I plug in 0 for Y. So X equals 1. Yes? So what's my coordinate going to be? 1, 0. For the Y-intercept, I plug in 0 for? Yes? So what does Y equal? 0, 1. That is your answer. Okay, that's how you're going to do 1 through 9. Go down to the bottom. This is the easiest ones. They literally give you the intercepts and you go graph them. So number 10, you have to draw the line through it or it's wrong. 5, 0. Wait, 1, 2, 3. Here's 5, 0. And 0, 4. And I take my straight edge. I'm not going to draw some jankety lines. Take my straight edge. Draw a line through them. Okay, on the back. Now, listen to the part with the back. You are not only going to graph the equation, but you're going to identify the intercepts. So I want you to solve for the X-intercept and the Y-intercept. Now, if it's in mx plus b form, can you stick it in your calculator? So I could put in negative x minus 4. I could look at the table. There's my Y-intercept. It's 0, negative 4. And if I can see the X-intercept, it's when Y is 0. Y'all see it? Yes or no? Negative 4, 0. I also want you to write the intercepts. So negative 4, 0 was the X-intercept, and 0, negative 4 was the Y-intercept. So I'm going to be grading all pieces of that. Yeah. If it gives it to you in Y equals mx plus b, you can go to the table and find the intercepts if you don't feel like solving for them. The only time that will not work is the X-intercept. The Y-intercept will always be there because it's what is Y when X is 0. But the X-intercept might not be there. So you might have to solve for that one. Okay, then at the bottom, it's just matching. Match the correct X and Y-intercept. So if 22 is C, I want you to write like C above it or right in here. Makes sense? And I made that up. It's not C. I have no idea. All right? It might be. I don't know. Get busy.